You may remember the harrowing images from the Salvadorian government showing hundreds of men, alleged gang members, being deported from the United States and taken to a prison in El Salvador. More than 250 men, mostly Venezuelan nationals, were deported with little or no due process. Today, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit heard arguments over these contentious deportation flights, with a federal judge saying that Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act.
They keep on showing all these videos of how bad these prisoners are being treated. They can't show their heads. They got to walk squatted. They got to all sit in crisscross applesauce in the middle of the floor while they are berated by officers. When you make bad decisions, man, then you got to deal with the consequences. If I'm sitting on this channel and I got a tattoo on my face that says MS-13 or Tren de Agua, or I'm representing some other group who does malicious things to communities around the world, around the city, wherever, I should be dealt with accordingly. That's how that goes. That's how that goes, man.
An escalating legal battle with the courts over President Trump's deportation plans. The administration is appealing a federal judge's order to halt flights that sent hundreds of Venezuelan migrants to a notorious prison in El Salvador. At a hearing today in Washington, fireworks. Here's our senior national correspondent, Terry Moran.
In the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington today, a stunning accusation from federal judge Patricia Millett grilling a Trump administration lawyer, demanding to know why hundreds of Venezuelans were deported to an El Salvador prison without any due process.
Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act. People weren't given notice. They weren't told where they were going. Those people on those planes on that Saturday had no opportunity to file habeas or any type of action to challenge the removal.
The administration's lawyer pushing back on Judge Millett's assertion that Germans deported during World War II under the same Alien Enemies Act used today got better treatment.
Well, Your Honor, we certainly dispute the Nazi analogy.
Arguing that President Trump was exercising core presidential powers by deporting the Venezuelans, who the administration has accused without providing evidence of being violent gang members. The administration has lashed out at federal judge James Boasberg for trying to turn those deportation flights around.
Boo! Boo! Sucker. You're a sucker, bro.
Accusing him of overstepping his authority. Today, they got some backup from a member of the appeals panel, Judge Justin Walker, a Trump appointee.
Can you, standing here, give us an example of a district court injunction that enjoined national security operation partially overseas that survived appellate review?
The White House standing by its decision to send the Venezuelans to that notorious prison in El Salvador. But tonight, the questions about the men in that prison are only growing.
We're looking at people now who may be in the Salvadoran prison the rest of their lives. And I think that's really the problem. And incommunicado, families can't reach them.
The administration acknowledges many of them have no criminal history in the U.S., and lawyers for at least 5 of them have filed declarations saying they have never been gang members at all.
Our thanks to Terry Moran. You may remember the harrowing images from the Salvadorian government showing hundreds of men, alleged gang members, being deported from the United States and taken to a prison in El Salvador. More than 250 men, mostly Venezuelan nationals, were deported with little or no due process. Today, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit heard arguments over these contentious deportation flights, with a federal judge saying that Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act. American photographer Philip Holsinger in El Salvador was there for a book on the country, had unique access to document the arrival of these migrants. He details what he saw firsthand as soon as these planes touched down. Philip, kind enough to join us tonight. Philip.
I have a question, man, because they keep on showing all these videos of how bad these prisoners are being treated. They can't show their heads. They got to walk squatted. They got to all sit in crisscross applesauce in the middle of the floor while they are berated by officers. Why are we treating them so bad for simply wanting to terrorize their communities and kill each other and sell drugs to each other? Why are we treating them bad for trafficking women and children? Why are we treating them bad for graping people and unaliving people who don't deserve it? We need to treat them with more respect. When you make bad decisions, man, then you got to deal with the consequences. If I'm sitting on this damn channel and I got a tattoo on my face that says MS-13 or Tren de Agua, or I'm representing some other group who does malicious things to communities around the world, around the city, wherever, I should be dealt with accordingly. That's how that goes. That's how that goes, man. And we should give a damn about these people, man. Nah, we shouldn't at all. I don't care about these. I'm sorry, I don't. Why are we spending our time trying to get them back? I don't get that. We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace. But let's hear what this guy has to say. Photographer and writer on documenting deportations. He has something to say about it. I want to hear his point of view, and I won't look. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
But first off, got to say, it just really great, outstanding work. Thank you so much for joining us. You were at the airport in El Salvador March 15th to document the arrival of the deportees, including alleged members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, according to the Trump administration. Can you walk us through what you saw when these planes landed?
Yes, I mean, it's I've been here for over a year, so, and I'm working on a book on the transformation in the country that's focused on the security plan of the country, and specifically the war on gangs. So I had a certain expectation of the night because I've been through many gang transfers here, from inter-prison transfers of MS-13, and so yeah, so the 3 planes arrive and, land and are taxied to a dark corner of the airport and sit for quite a while. And then they, as you see in the photos, start offloading the prisoners. Yeah.
And what were the conditions like where they were being held? Were they handcuffed and chains? What did you see? These
are commercial charter flights. So they're not military airplanes. There's no way to chain anybody to a seat. They are shackled in a typical shackling of ankles, wrists, and then connected by one chain. And they're guarded by special operations from Homeland Security that's on the plane.
And I want to quote something that you say in your article. You say, almost all the detainees came to the door of the plane with angry, defiant faces. It was their faces that grabbed me, because within a few hours, those faces would completely transform. And then later you go on to write, it was like looking at men who passed through a time machine in 2 hours. They aged 10 years. What happened in those 2 hours that you mentioned?
This is a Time magazine piece that the reason why I chose to publish early before I've even published this story is that sometimes something grabs you and it elevates a moment into the universals. And I'm accustomed to seeing hardened criminals, in these transfers. And the Venezuelans, and again, I'm not trying to say they're innocent just because of their faces, but I've looked at a lot of faces that when they came to the door, some of these guys were hardened. They weren't tattooed up. In that moment, I realized these guys aren't the same as other people I've brought. One, they're foreigners being brought here. And I anticipated, especially the soft faces, that some people, when they came to the door, the Venezuelans, they were stunned. By the end of the night, there was nobody that was defiant. I mean, the whole process of the intake is so aggressive for security reasons, that the security forces will tell you, but it's very forceful.
And I'm curious too, once they landed, did it appear that they knew where they had been taken?
No, I mean, it's, they seemed pretty confused. I don't think they were ready for what they saw.
Did the government or military officials say anything to the detainees?
The Minister of Defense for El Salvador ran the operation. So he, in a sense, greeted the Homeland Security guys with some of the El Salvadoran team. And, I kept waiting for files to come off the plane.
Did I see this right? Some of you said that in order to be in those gangs, you gotta unalive somebody. Is that true? Because they have a whole bunch of gang members, man. I'm talking about a lot. So if you got that many gang members, then how many people had to die in order? Jesus. In order for, do y'all understand what that means? Y'all get it. But me thinking about it right now, that is nuts. That is nuts, bro. That is nuts. I'm tired of this, man. We need to continue to pray. Reverend Dr. MC Hammer once said, we got to pray just to make it today.